Hello, we are starting. Hallelujah.
Hey, let's go. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Merry Christmas. It is.
Tell us the date.
The 15th?
No.
17th.
17th.
December 17th.
And this is our 17th podcast.
Oh, that's a lucky number.
No, I lied.
It's
our
our
16th.
16th. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
16th.
It seems
liar.
like 17.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you, you guys can't see this. We got an actual audience. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna ask them to applaud.
Wow, even if they didn't want to?
Oh, they have to. And that applause sign
1,
goes.
2, 3, 4, 5. We have 7 people and, 7 dogs? 1, 2, 3.
A dog for everybody.
5,
Yeah.
7. I think there's 7 dogs here.
I don't know. I'm not going to count right now. All I am is going to banter, and we haven't seen each other. Well, we've seen each other, but we haven't done a podcast till it was before Thanksgiving.
It was, and
You went to Ireland,
I went to Ireland.
and we ate a lot of food. You went to where Shenandoah?
Yeah, I was up in Shenandoah area in Virginia for Thanksgiving.
That was lovely, and Natasha, my daughter, cooked up a storm, and everybody that's in the audience was here for Thanksgiving. And it was delicious. One of the things that I wrote down for our banter, and because I often keep notes over and the name is Bob McGrath. Did you want to address that?
Oh, Bob.
Yeah.
Yes.
Does
Oh,
anybody
that
here know
surprised me that
Bob?
you put that in there. Do you guys
Yeah.
know who Bob McGrath is? Lisa's
Yes.
nodding her head. Yes.
Yes,
Anybody?
yeah.
Oh, Bob McGrath was. Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was he was on Sesame Street.
Yeah. Original member.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And he had a beautiful voice.
I did not know he was a teen idol.
He
Did
was
you know that?
in Japan.
He was
Oh,
a
that's right.
Yes.
I read that about
Yeah,
him.
he was
Yeah.
a teen idol, but he passed away at 90.
I don't know the age.
92 or something.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. But
Wasn't he on Sing Along with Mitch? Didn't I read
Yes.
that about him?
Oh,
Yes.
that?
Because when I read it, I said when I was a kid, I used to love that show.
Oh
He
my
used
God,
to follow the bouncing ball.
Yes. Oh my God, I remember.
I
that.
just dated myself.
Well, I'm right
Me
there.
too.
Well, anyway, okay. So I just wanted to mention Bob.
No,
McGrath.
yeah, we should.
Yeah.
When we toast, we'll toast to Bob
Exactly.
as well because he, was so important. I mean, for me as a kid who needed Sesame Street and
Yeah.
depended on that every
Yeah.
day it came on. He was someone reliable. I loved seeing him there.
Yeah.
He meant a lot to people.
Yeah, he did. He was like Mr. Rogers on Sesame Street.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
that's
was.
what I-
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Well, like I said, it's like Christmas time. So
It is?
It's Christmas.
check the cork read. That was from my other daughter.
These are
Corey.
from all of the ones she just drank this month. Yeah.
This week.
No, actually. So I just have a quick question for you guys.
Yes.
What's your favorite holiday movie and/or song, or both?
My favorite holiday movie, I have a couple of them, but my very favorite is A Christmas Carol, the 1952 Alastair Sim.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that I love. I like a lot of them, but
Yeah.
that's my favorite. And I love Elf.
Elf.
yeah.
Elf. Yeah, that's one of the
My
newest.
favorite song is Carol of the Bells.
Oh,
Because
okay.
of Carol.
Because of
Yeah.
me.
Yes, that's it. I just found out something about Carol of the Bells. It was on the news. There was a kids choir from the Ukraine over here performing
Yes.
at Lincoln Center. That was composed by a Ukrainian. That's a Ukrainian
Yes.
folk song. And then the Americans turned it into a Christmas carol with lyrics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
How about you?
I love the original Miracle on 34th Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite. I like the other one too, but that's my favorite
Yeah,
one.
the original.
And then my backup is Love Actually.
Oh,
I
like that too.
I
We're
love
giving
that.
some head nods in
Yeah.
the audience.
Yeah.
And
That's a
then
good
I
one.
just like any version of Silent Night. That's my favorite
Oh, song. Oh,
song.
okay.
Yeah,
Song,
yeah.
right,
I do. I
right,
like
yeah.
that. I like that song.
Well, for me, I watched it last night on YouTube. Heidi, the original Heidi with Shirley Temple.
That's a Christmas show?
Yeah, because grandfather was Christmas Eve, and she's trying to find her grandfather. Yes, and then it's on a movie, but Charlie Brown's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
I love
They
that one.
played that at my daughter's choir concert. They sang that for
that's
the, that was one,
Yeah.
yes, they did.
Well,
What was
I
it?
like
Yeah.
that one, and I actually have that CD, that Christmas CD
Yeah,
by
so do I.
Vince
Vincent
Waddy. Yeah, and I like the one, the Snoopy song.
Yes.
One when Riley was like 3 years old
Riley's
at
her
Christmas
granddaughter.
time. She would make me put that on. She'd make me do the Snoopy dance all over my house with
That's
her.
so cute. See, and that's something, and I was thinking of this, sometimes it's not the movie or the song specifically, it's the memories that they stir.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think maybe some people in the audience would think that I would have said It's a Wonderful Life is my
That's
favorite.
what I said to Laura.
Yeah. But it's not my favorite movie, only because I don't have memories of watching it with anybody. I always watch it by myself. No. I'm just saying, I never watched it when I was a kid. I started
okay.
watching it when I was, I think, living in Belmore.
I'm the same.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
watch it as a child either.
Yeah.
but-
And then I was like, oh, okay, let me watch it. And then every year I'd like start watching it, but it was always like, oh yeah, oh, never someone to share it with. But anyway,
I love that movie too.
that's what I
Where's
like.
the-
But I watch it alone. I don't care.
Oh yeah, no, I do too. But
Yeah.
I feel like the songs that I picked, like I'm Heidi, I'm remembering my mom watching it with me.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I know that we're running out of time. I feel like I
Alright.
just,
Oh,
well,
we didn't start that.
oh,
Oh my
Look at all the time we have.
Judy, you always screw it up.
no, that's fine. Okay, all right. So we've been about 5 to 10 minutes.
I can
so-
look on the camera. Disco, come on.
Okay, all right. Yes, ma'am. Okay, all right.
What's the
Okay.
next topic?
All right. Well, here's what I was thinking about too, because like Christmas is so secular now. It's very secular. And why are you laughing? Not
Nothing.
sex.
I know
No,
that's where you're
no,
going.
I know where your mind goes. But I was starting to think, when did that happen? When did it become like it wasn't about, you know, the baby Jesus and just a very spiritual thing?
I blame Donald Trump.
Anyway. Oh, no.
Did you buy one of his digital superhero
For
cards?
each and every one
Oh
of
my
you.
God. Well, anyway, did you know that in 1860, 14 states, including several from New England, adopted Christmas as a legal holiday? And then they introduced the Christmas card to Americans. And it was created by this guy, Lewis, father of the American Christmas card. But what a lot of Americans aren't aware of today is that Christmas was banned in Boston from 1659 to 1681. And the reason, yeah, it was
Why?
banned. I guess maybe because it was getting too secular. I don't know. I'm not sure why it was banned.
Massachusetts has a lot of weird laws, and I could say that I lived there for a long time.
Yeah.
and,
Right.
They still had a lot of blue light laws even
Yeah.
on the books. Even when I moved there, where you couldn't buy alcohol, you know,
Well,
on
New York
Sundays. There were
State
some
does too,
towns
yeah.
where you can't even buy alcohol at all.
Yeah. There were states where American indigenous people couldn't buy alcohol.
Cities, I meant,
Yeah.
not states. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Well, yeah, no, so, and why is it celebrated on December 25th, and you find out different reasons why, but the Roman Christian historian Sextus, there's your sex word, Julius Africanus dated Jesus' conception to March 25th, so that's 9 months later, so I guess, you know, that archangel had his way with Mary. So, no.
Keep reading.
Yeah.
That was very sacrilegious.
You forgot to build up the last
well, it's what it is. But anyway, so also Saint Nicholas, this is how it got started with Santa Claus, is there was a man named Saint Nicholas, and he was mirroring what the Magi brought gifts to baby Jesus. But now it's gotten so
Commercial.
commercial, and I was wondering, like, how every generation it seems to get more and more, like now you've got all the movies, like all the Hallmark Christmas
Yeah.
movies, and You know, it's just a lot. But anyway, so that's just a little, need to know. And you were mentioning about Coca-Cola to me.
Yeah, that was a Coca-Cola, like that image of Santa Claus, that one that we see all the time. That was Coca-Cola hired in 1931 an artist to do their advertising with the Santa Claus thing. So that they, Santa Claus, Clement Moore had brought that in the night before a visit from Saint Nick. And the first one to popularize Santa Claus in the United States was Washington Irving, because he did a story about Santa Claus too.
Ah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of interesting stuff
Yeah.
about Santa Claus that we don't have time to go through.
Exactly. So look
So-
it up, Google it.
Yeah,
There you
yeah,
are.
it was
But-
pretty
So
interesting.
should we start tasting some wine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that
And
we
we
should.
can even allow our guests to even
Yes.
have some.
How many? Who's having wine?
Raise it.
Everybody?
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
4.
Kathy, you're not having wine?
Oh,
No?
we have a.
I'll have hers.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I
Well,
see
you
you
can
brought
just,
a
it's just a tasting.
But
You
I
want to
see you
taste
brought a
it?
decanter though.
I did.
Nice.
Yes,
So
so-
this must be a full-bodied bread based on the shape of your
It
decanter.
is a full. So this is Hall Ranch Cabernet. This was, according to Total Wine, within Total Wine sales, I guess, or popularity, it was the #1 of the top 20 wines of 2022. It's from Paso Robles, California. And the mouthfeel is big and juicy and well integrated. Sounds a little dirty.
I'm just
It's
gonna
got
leave that
notes
one.
of black currants,
Ho, ho, ho.
red and black fruits dominate this cab,
All right.
with a hint of olive brine on the entry. Oh, we'll have to
Oh.
see if we can taste that. It's 15% alcohol by volume and is a full-bodied wine.
And how
And-
much?
It was $19.99 in Total Wine.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, not bad, huh?
very good. All right.
All right, so this is gonna be hard
Now
to.
these glasses, can
Heavy.
as you pour, I
Oh
want to
yes,
explain
please,
these
yes.
glasses. Okay,
Explain, Lucy.
so these
Explain.
I brought these glasses back from Dublin. And these are New Grange glassware. Now New Grange does a lot of high quality glass and gifts, and it's a very nice place. Not nice, but a nice giftware that's line that they have. And so I was in Dublin and I saw these glasses on display, and I was like, oh, I have to get these. And then there was the Banter with my husband. He's like, no more glasses. Yeah, and I go, no. So and then they didn't have any sets, and the woman was so kind to look in the back, and she came out with a beautiful box. And these are the glasses. I said, I have to bring them in. I wish you could feel them. Well, some of you would. They're nice and heavy, and they're pretty colors, and they were on clearance for €30. Couldn't believe it. So that's it. That's about like
The dog's
that
buying
is
you.
not much at all. So should we have some?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two.
And we need.
Oh, all right. How many
You need
more do
one,
we
you need
need? Okay,
I'm
who's
trying.
having Gloria?
Well, I'm gonna start tasting because
Okay,
we.
all right,
Thank
the
you
other
very
colorful
much.
glasses that are on there would.
Oh yes, they're beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh wait, I tasted, but I wanted to toast actually.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'm
okay.
so sorry.
I think it's too late.
No, no.
Isn't that a jinx or something?
We can edit that out. Just pretend. Edit it out.
How many more glasses do we need? Yeah, who's waiting?
Two,
Three.
It has some
Oh,
necks on
we should have
there.
had this planned ahead of time. I'm pouring it.
Three. Okay,
Why?
I don't know.
that's fine.
You're
We're-
not impressed with my pouring skills
No.
on this big heavy decanter?
Oh, you know, I do have 2 decanters. I could bring another one next
Oh,
time.
she was holding out
I
on us.
was.
Ooh.
Here, I'll pass it.
All right, so
Did I miss anybody? Jason?
Thank you.
Okie dokie.
Who else?
one more.
One more?
We need one
No.
more.
Not for me.
No,
No, not for
No,
you.
We're good.
I can smell the black.
All right. So
Okay,
everybody's got us. It's nice to have everybody here. You do a toast first.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
all right, well,
It's your home.
oh, but it's our studio.
Yeah.
One thing we always do is we always remember, and he's gonna kill me right now, whose birthdays are coming
Yes.
up. But we always do it, it's not just 'cause it's.
Yes, we do.
So my son's birthday, December 20th, so we wanna give a shout out to
Happy birthday.
Happy
Happy
birthday. Okay.
Cheers Yes.
too. And we're
And
gonna
to Bob McGrath, I
and to
thought.
Bob
And I
McGrath.
do have some toast. If you wouldn't mind indulging me, I got some bad news. At first, it's a little sad, but my very favorite cousin. Sorry to all the rest of my cousins, but he died suddenly in Florida on the 4th. He was only 61. So if we could raise a glass to my cousin Jimmy, he'd really appreciate it. And so
Oh,
Yeah,
can you say a little
Jimmy.
bit about him? What his story
he
is?
was hysterical, lovely, lovely man. Private in a lot of ways, so I'm going to respect that
Okay.
at least publicly. But the one thing that I'm the saddest about, because we were thick as thieves, we would, and if we were in a room together, we would be like magnets sitting together. I told him I had my hair cut. I just regret that he wasn't here to make fun of my haircut. So yeah, that would have been, something he would have
And
had
what's
fun
his name?
with.
Jimmy.
To Jimmy.
Yeah, to
Jimmy.
Thank you.
Okay. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry
Christmas.
God bless us.
Everyone.
God bless us everyone.
Oh, I liked it with that accent, Gloria.
Oh, this is nice.
I like this. Do you taste the brine?
I do.
You taste it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what
Brian?
is it.
Like a
Olive.
salty.
Yes.
This is good.
But
I like it.
smooth.
Yes, I really
Oh, I
like
got
it.
my Christmas card. I see it. Oh, this
Yes.
is nice. No, it is nice. I like it. I'm sorry. You got my Christmas. I see it over there.
It was nice.
Does everybody like it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do like it.
Oh,
Yes.
keep-
All
I
right.
do like it.
5 wildflowers on this
Yeah,
one. I
so
like it.
Five
Absolutely.
wildflowers. That's our rating system, our wildflowers.
Oh,
Yes, so 5 wildflowers.
very delicious.
Now, are you
It's very
being
good.
blocked by these?
Yes, I'm just gonna move this bottle now.
Sorry,
I don't
Delicious,
need it.
delicious.
So everybody, it's Whole Ranch Cabernet. This one's 2019. Delicious.
Awesome.
Very nice.
So I
Move
think we
this.
probably have a bit more time to do the book before we, did you wanna check
Do you
the
want
time?
me to check the
I
time?
do, thank
We
you.
have like 12 minutes.
Is
that good enough
It
for
might
you?
be. All right.
Uh-oh.
Well, is it? I could always, we can start and finish. And it should be fine. The book I chose, I read back in the spring. I'm working on a different book right now, but this is one I wanted to bring. Perfect for the holidays. I know Lisa will like this too. It's called Back to the Prairie. This is a nonfiction book by my girl, Melissa Gilbert. Now, I chose this book, it's a quick read, and this is not her first book. She's had a few other books, but this is, I think, this is probably my favorite one. And she kind of tells her tale about where she is now and how she got there. What I love about this, and before I say anything else, is, I'm not going to fangirl too much about Melissa Gilbert, but she's a rock star. Really, she's awesome, and she lays it all out bare. She did in the past, but she's doing it now here. She tells her journey about how she's basically stopped keeping up with the Joneses, and she came from this is her, her cute little, we all know her from Little House on the Prairie. Now she's here, with her, long flower skirts, her gray hair, just letting it all hang out. She's not trying to be the Hollywood, perfection anymore. And she talks about how she used to do that and how tiring it was and how unfulfilling that was. And now she comes and is living, her dream, which is my dream, her and her husband, Tim Busfield, who is very successful in his own right, brought this rundown cabin in upstate New York in the Catskills. I won't go find it, I promise. And they just worked on it, and they're living off the land essentially. They're raising chickens and building their own flower beds and doing their own home. A lot of the work they're doing themselves, or they did themselves, is done now. And she's, I think, the happiest I've ever read. The happiness oozes out of the pages of this book. And it's so quick to read. It reads as if she's talking. And that's great. It's very easy, very quick read. Get it for anybody who grew up in the 70s or 80s, who might want to, have a little nostalgia, who might want to learn a little bit something. I don't know about you, but this is, to read an autobiography by somebody I already knew a lot about is rare for me. I usually pick up autobiography by somebody I don't know anything about, because I feel like I want to just know that. If you're like me, pick this up if you don't know much about her, but I still learned things about her, and I just wanted to give a quick flavor on it if I could read it. It feels like it got darker, Peggy.
It didn't. Your eyes are
my eyes are bad. Okay, this is just a quick paragraph to give you an idea. She goes, thank you. Tim was right. Now, Tim is her husband. Okay, Tim was right. Everything happened for a reason. But as someone who began life as baby girl Darlington and became Melissa Gilbert when my parents adopted me the day after I was born, I needed no convincing that explanations came as breadcrumbs, on the long trail of one's life. There were reasons Tim and I had found a place in the country, fixed it up, and chosen to spend the lockdown there. They ended up getting this right before COVID. Some I knew, some I didn't, and some I was beginning to sense. Ours was a home remade and lives rediscovered. It was all part of what I began to see as our graceful evolution. And so this book talks about that evolution, and although she didn't really say she was, when we went to a book signing with her, Theodore's Books hosted a book signing, and Carol and Peggy were there, and Lisa and I went there, and we got to meet her. And
And I got to interview her.
yes, you interviewed her. Thank you. She didn't close the door on politics, although she said she wasn't going to. Not completely. She wasn't sure, I think, but she hasn't closed the door. I don't think she's given up with politics. I don't know. This book, I think, though, the way it reads, keeps that door open because it gives her point of view on every topic that basically if someone you want to know about running for politics would. It talks about veterans, healthcare, racism, economics, anything that she just lays it out. It's not just about her, but it's also her points of view on current topics for the day.
Yeah.
Now that she's a New Yorker, I say go for it, Melissa. We need you to be in politics, and I like the way this is. You may not know, but she ran for Congress when she was living in Michigan. She had to drop out for reasons she talks about in the book. And she used to be the president of Screen Actors Guild, so she's got the experience. I had more quotes in here, but I know we don't have a lot of here at the time. But I love the book. Try it. She's also got a website, Modern Prairie, which she focuses, which I love, on like small businesses, women-owned businesses as well, which is a topic that we're going to talk about today. And so that's more reason to love her. I mean, again, she's a rock star, not just because she dated Billy Idol.
I love that.
Yeah. So,
But she was lovely when we met her. Because we did that big event with her, and
she's a grandma now too.
Yeah, and I just loved it that she came to this event with all these people came to see her.
Yeah.
She had her hair in a ponytail. She dressed very casually. The conversation was very casual. She was, I really
genuine,
enjoyed it.
like very easy.
Yeah.
Like I feel like very kindred spirits with her. Like if she were to be here, we would just kind of all talk and just have no problem to find things
And we
to
need
say.
more people in government like her. So
Absolutely.
I hope that she does.
I mean, that's why I would love for her to just represent New York, whether it be states or if she goes to the federal, because we need people, like real people.
She also does a baking show.
I know.
Yeah, and she's into baking and just living off the land, and so
There's recipes in here that she uses, and so she's real person.
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to pick that, so that's a nice surprise.
I had to do it. I
thought that you did that one already.
No, I talked
I have
about
to look
doing
at the
it.
time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right. I went told back, Lisa.
Okay, we're good. We have 6 minutes.
Okay, all right.
But I know you read the book at least too.
It's ages ago now, it feels like, but no, and just getting to chat with her and interview her, and you're gonna groan when I say this, but her husband Tim Busfield had a major role in West Wing. I'm just saying.
We went upstate and saw him in a play. We saw him in that, what was it? Shadowlands.
Shadowlands, yeah.
That was good. I liked it.
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, so but you know what? We have a special guest, which I forgot to mention at the start of this podcast.
Shame on
But
you.
I know, but we have this is going to be our second time that we have a special guest in, and I was inspired to have her because at Thanksgiving time, I asked her, said, what's people's reactions to your going to their homes, because she does hardwood flooring. She owns her own business. She does the physical labor. It's called Kathy's Hardwood Flooring. And I asked her, I go, how are people reacting to you? So that's gonna be one of the questions I'm gonna ask her when we continue. So we're gonna take a break, a very short break. We're gonna come back with Kathy of Kathy's Hardwood Flooring.
Yay!
All right.
All right.
Yes, we are, and with a special guest.
Hi,
And who are you?
I'm Kathy
Yes,
from Kathy's Hardwood Flooring.
yes, absolutely. Now, I've known Kathy, how many years, Kathy? Did you do the math?
Oh boy, you're gonna give me like math questions now?
Well, I've known Kathy since she was 10 years old. We won't say how
Probably,
old.
maybe 11.
Okay, and it was,
You tell everybody how old I am. This is how we start.
So you've known her for about 50 years, right?
No, I came into her and her sister and brother's lives, and actually her brother and sister are actually in the audience, and it was not long after their mom passed away from cancer. And I got to know them, and we have been friends, family for so long. And one thing that I remember Kathy telling me about your mom, what she said about you, was that Kathy was jack of all trades. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kathy, and that does describe Kathy. Kathy does so much. And when did you start Kathy's Hardwood Flooring, and why?
Officially around the year 2000, but I've been doing it a lot longer than that with your ex-husband,
Right.
who started me doing it. My first job was at the Grease Building.
Oh,
Manhattan.
was it, the Grace?
Oh,
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's W.R. Grace,
Yes.
the ship builders.
Wow.
And he said, do you want to come and help me? Like, I need some help. And I said, all right. He goes, just help me bring stuff up the building and back down. I said, okay. But I was standing there. I'm like, well, why can't I, like, do something? Like, I don't want to just stand here the whole time. I was like, oh, all right, I guess so. Like, what do you want to try? I'm like, all right, give me that thing. So I had the edger, and I started doing it. He's like, you want to come again tomorrow?
What's the edger for?
Did he pay you?
Well, yeah.
What's an edger for?
It goes around the edges of the floors. So, like, he was doing the bigger
Where you can't
machine.
get close to the walls.
Yeah, so it's the one that's the little machine
To
that goes
sand it,
around.
you mean?
Yep, to sand
Oh, okay.
around the edges. Yeah, so I started with that. That's how I started doing
Oh,
that
okay.
machine first.
You
Yeah,
did
then I
my
liked it.
floors in my house in Levittown.
Yeah.
Because I had the radiant heating and the tile floors in Levittown, and you couldn't put down a hardwood floor because of my doors. You said I'd have to take all your doors off.
Or with the cement.
But you put in that, I don't know what it was, like it could be sanded.
Engineered, yes.
Yeah, and it was beautiful. People always complimented my floor.
Thank you very
It was
much.
very
Well,
nice.
the topic today is being a woman in a man's world, and that's basically when I was talking to you on Thanksgiving, I was like, I know you very well. I know you know how to do the job, but I'm like, does it take much convincing for customers when they see it's a woman that's going to be doing the work?
When you own your own business, no, because they know I'm coming, because it's word of mouth, and so it's my name on it, so they want me there.
Right, exactly.
But when I worked with like Rob doing hardwood flooring, not so hardwood flooring, they would always be like, well, why'd you bring your girlfriend?
Oh,
really?
wow.
Oh, interesting.
I'm like, why? What's the matter? What can I do? And they, because I mean, it's probably about 40 years ago now. And they're like, well, you know, if he has to move this table over, you know, how are you going to do that? I'm like, which table do you need moved? So like this one? And I'm like, oh. You know, so like you have to prove yourself a little bit. I mean,
Right.
It was different back then than it is now. Now people don't really, they don't tell me anyway as much.
Right.
Or I'll get like, wow, it's so great that there's a woman. I really like love that there's a woman. And, you know, it's so much better because you talk to us, you relate with us. We know it's going to be clean and neat,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
really care about what you're doing. And my opinion is, if you're a woman doing what I'm doing now, it's very hard to do.
Yeah.
So
It's
if you don't
physical.
like what you're doing and you're not really going to be good at it, then why even bother? You know,
Yeah.
you got to be kind of crazy to do
Yeah,
this
it's
kind of
hard
hardwood
work.
floor.
God.
Yeah, floors. It's hard.
I saw there was an article, there was a news story on the media, and I watched it with my husband Niall, and it was dealing with this topic, just that we are in a time, you were ahead of your time, really, because we are now in a time
Yeah.
where they're saying there's a trend of more women taking on roles that have been traditionally men, like there's more project managers in construction.
Yeah.
I have a whole list of them right
Oh,
here.
okay. Have you seen more women entering your field or in that way now?
Not really, no. The
Okay.
only other one that I know is my sister. And
Lisa?
yeah, she'll do hardwood flooring, and I know like Rob's friend, like she's a woman that's doing hardwood flooring, and I've heard that there's a couple of others that'll do it, but not really. Like I've seen spacklers. Like last week, I saw a woman spackler,
Okay.
and I was like, wow, that's terrific. And
Yeah.
she was Hispanic. She didn't even speak English, but she was terrific. She
Yeah.
she was like all over the place. I'm like, wow, this is a cool girl. You know, like I don't
Yeah.
usually see women doing something like that either.
Right.
So, and I've seen a lot of times more, I see as far as trades, women doing electrical. So I've seen a lot of women doing that. But like as far as doing construction, I don't see a lot of women contractors, which I wish I would see more women in contracting, doing building and stuff like that. Because it's really a great open field
Yeah.
for people to get into, and it's great if you know how to do it. You save so much, even on your own homes and stuff, as life goes on. Or it's very fulfilling too, because you get to see what you did when at the end of the day you have something to go home and say, I did that.
Well, something that's fulfilling, and years ago, my aunt had to sell her house in Plainview, and it needed to be gutted because it was a mess. And I was living in a bad situation then in an apartment with my daughters, and we had a devil that lived downstairs. She was horrible, and I needed to get out of there.
You're walking too loud.
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you. She
Yeah.
threatened. It was bad. So I happened to mention to Kathy, I said, oh, my aunt's gonna have to sell her house because she was in a nursing home. So, and Kathy goes, let's go look at it. So we went and looked at it, and she goes, why don't you buy it? And I was like, I can't. Kathy had me, thank you, Rose. Don't get dogs here. Kathy offered to gut the house and redo it for me out of the kindness of her heart. And she always said, I just wanted a project like this. I just wanted a project like this. And she made
That's
such
what
a,
all kind people say.
Yeah.
That was very generous.
and it was so generous, and it was a beautiful, she made it a beautiful home.
It was very
It was
nice,
beautiful.
yeah.
It's returning the kindness that you showed us when we were little.
No, we're not gonna go down that road. No, I'm gonna cry.
I saw it before Kathy did it with
Don't
you.
do
I
that.
went through and it was.
No, you could smell
Oh
it.
my God,
I mean, she was a whore.
awful.
Jason remembers it.
60-yard dumpsters just to empty the house
God, it
out.
was
But that house
dirty
was
and
beautiful.
smelled.
Yeah.
After you were done.
It had a lot of
Gorgeous.
potential.
Yeah, and
Your
she
brother
saw-
actually said there's no way that you're going to be able to do it.
Oh yeah, my brother Kevin.
Yeah, he was like, there's no way you're going to be able to do this. You need at least like 150 grand to fix this place up. I'm like, we're
Yeah.
going to do it with 50.
Yeah.
And how did you feel afterwards?
Oh, great sense of accomplishment. But I didn't do it alone. Like, Jason helped, Paul helped, Corey helped. Everyone was like work equity. Everyone just like got in there and helped.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
sister helped, my brother helped, even Rob came and helped.
Yes,
Everybody,
yeah,
like
she
Tommy
did.
came and helped, Gloria helped. Corey helped, she was on the roof, you know.
Hanging by an electrical wire.
Yeah, we came across a lot of problems, you know.
Yeah, well, actually, Tommy, Rob's wife's son, helped. He was up on the roof, if you remember that. And I'm telling you, you got us out of a bad situation. Because we living in that apartment, I just didn't know how I was going to get out of it, and it was awesome. And you didn't just do floors. You built a house for me.
We did it, we basically gutted it inside and out,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the value that it added to the house, which enabled you then to.
Sell it and buy my house back in Belmont
Yeah.
that I didn't think I was going to
Look,
have
you
to.
helped
Ah.
with that. Look at
So
that.
the power of women.
Oh, the
That's
power
right.
of women.
Yes, so, yeah, and I know that Peggy has a list of women that, because we're talking about being a woman in a man's world, go ahead.
Well, I'm not even going back into the past. I mean, right now in this area in New York City. We have Jessica Tisch. She's New York City Sanitation Commissioner, first one.
Wow.
Okay, she's the first. It
Shit,
started in the 1890s, and she's the first. The
Wow,
first
that's
sanitation
awesome.
commissioner was in the 1890s.
And then
she's the first
First one is a
female.
woman.
What, do you have the FDNY on there?
Yeah, I'm getting to
Oh.
it. All right. Laura Kavanaugh, New York City Fire Commissioner.
Well done.
thought
There's
that was awesome.
only
Yeah.
144 female firefighters, marshals, and fire officers out of 10,770.
Not a lot, but it's
That's
good.
right, and it's 76% white male.
Yeah.
So that's a
I
big
remember when I was
problem
younger,
there.
I wanted to be a police officer, and
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw a name out there, but my neighbor was very high up in the police department, and he said women don't go in the police department.
And
Wow.
now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
is it on your list?
Yes, it is.
All right, bring it
That
on,
would be
NYPD.
Keyshawn Sewell, NYPD Police Commissioner.
Yes, cheers.
And then how about Kamala Harris, the
Love it.
first
How
female vice
about
president, first
Kamala
female
Harris?
and woman
Yes.
of color too.
Very nice.
And then we have one of my favorite people, Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Who, when she entered Congress, I think there was like 4 women. Now there's 90.
It's awesome.
Yes.
So, yep, she and she was treated with disrespect. They've made fun of the way she looked, about her clothes, her shoes, her nails,
Yeah.
and about her strength of leadership and grasp of critical issues.
I'm Beta
And-
Ginsburg, God rest her soul.
Yeah, oh my God,
Thank
I know,
you, Gloria,
I know.
for my favorite.
Love her.
Mentioning RBG.
Love her.
My
And
favorite
now
Ginsburg.
I have
She
a
made a lot of
T-shirt
things.
and it says "Vote, we're ruthless."
I still have her picture
So-
on our refrigerator, and we have
I
alphabet
love
magnets that my neighbor gave when our girls were like 1,
She
and
did.
I have RBG, and under
Yeah.
votes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's still there. I am.
There's
kind of
actually
inspirational.
an
Yeah.
artist, and I looked at her artwork, and it's beautiful. And she was she was born in 1841, and died in 1895, and her name was Bert Morisot. And she was actually a member of that Impressionist group with Manet and Van Gogh and all the males. And her work never got any attention, didn't get that much attention
She's a
because
woman.
she was a female.
Yeah.
But she was part of that group, and they were all very impressed with her. So she did get, into some galleries. But, whoever heard of her? I never heard of her.
Well, that's
And I
like,
heard of her because I was at my granddaughter's high school concert, and the band leader had them play a piece that was about her. This musician did this classical piece about her,
Oh,
and
wow.
he told this brief little story about
Don't
her.
have to
So,
hit the
And
camera.
what's her name?
her name is Bert Morisot.
Okay.
So, very interesting. And then there's also Peggy Zirin,
Yes.
who was a gas pumper in the 70s, and there were no girls doing that. So.
I love
true.
Yeah, I was a
That's
gas
first.
pumper, and people
Yes.
were very taken aback when I came out. It was a Gulf station in the middle of Kennedy Airport, which is no longer there. It was Bragg
Wow, that's
Service
awesome.
Station. And the Port Authority, we had hotlines to them, and I
Wow,
worked the
that's so
midnight
awesome.
shift.
Wow.
And when I used to come out to pump people's gas, they were like,
Yeah.
"You're a girl."
Yeah.
I still get that face a little bit, like
Yeah.
if I'm there,
Yeah.
like people that come, their parents mostly, it's like
Oh,
their parents
okay.
if they come to open the door or whatever, and they're staring
Yeah.
at you the whole time.
Yeah.
And then they see you working and they're like, oh, okay, and then they want to be your best friend, like,
Yeah.
hey, come and look at my house.
That's
Yeah.
because of your personality too, and you're very open.
Oh,
and you're
yeah,
yeah, and definitely. Well, I wrote some names down to Amelia Earhart. I mean, that's
Mhm.
going
Oh,
back in
yeah.
history. Elsie Robinson, and quite likely no one's heard of her. And the only reason I know her is that we did an event with the person that just did her biography. And she was an American journalist, poet, memorist, and short story writer, and she worked in the coal mines.
Wow.
That she would bring her son with her, so she would bring her son every day to the coal mines.
Was he the canary?
This is Kathy. This is Kathy. Yeah, exactly. But there's also,
Spit out my line.
and I'd love to give a shout out, and I'm gonna ruin it, Malala Yousafzai.
Oh, Malala, we all-
And she was a Pakistani
Is.
female. Yes, is my bad.
Yeah.
Female educated activist, but she should have been dead.
Yeah.
She was shot because she wanted to educate the young girls, and the
She's
Taliban in the
Yeah.
Pakistan? They tried to snuff her out, and now she's very powerful. She won the Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
And but another thing that I was thinking of when I was thinking of this, I remember when my sister and I, when we were younger, and we would help on the farm. Like we would have to help. My father had a sawmill. We'd have to help in the sawmill. We'd have to help in the fields. We'd have to help. But my brothers never had to help with the housework. And I was thinking of that. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because, you know, it's funny because my son and my then and Rob, my ex-husband, they always helped in the house. It wasn't like I had to say, oh, you know, it's not fair. They just did it automatically. And why are you laughing?
Yeah, why are
Because
you
my brother's
smirking?
the baby, and I don't have to do anything. He's the baby. I got the boy Italian.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know.
But that's changing. I mean, that news story I saw that they said there's a lot more men now, higher percentages leaving the workforce now to stay home and be
Yeah.
with the children, so that and that the wife.
It's different,
You know,
totally different.
It is. I mean, we did that. You know, I have to say, so we did that, and it was kind of strange because for the first 2 years of our lives, my husband stayed home and raised our twins. You know, and he was better for it. I have to say that because the bond he has with the girls now is so strong.
That's so nice.
And I think, you know, and he didn't know what to do there. I mean, he's hold a baby like this, you know, never been
I don't
around.
think most new parents would know what the heck to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's, they didn't baby, there was no baby, girls usually babysit or whatever, boys typically didn't, I think,
Right.
and especially not, he wasn't that way, and
Yeah.
so, but there's a trend now where that may be
Yeah.
changing, where that might happen.
My brother Kevin did that.
Yeah.
And we called him Mr. Mom. And
Yeah.
he, you know, quit his job. My sister-in-law had a good job in the city. She made, you know, a nice salary. And Kevin had like
Right.
built to the hills, you know, construction. And but he was the primary caretaker of Caitlin, and then I used to babysit for her if he had a job,
Right.
and you know, so.
But there, maybe when we were talking about this topic, made me think of the movie Hidden Figures. Remember that
Oh,
movie?
I love that
Yeah.
one.
Well, don't you
Yeah.
love
Oh
that?
my
And
God,
with
yeah.
all of the, you know,
I
not
know.
only dealing with
Scientists
women
and the
in
rest.
primarily male-dominated fields, but
Yeah.
also the minorities as
Yes,
well. You know,
uh-huh.
being and
Yeah.
shout out to Dorothy Vaughan, not just because she's a Vaughan.
Yeah.
Vaughan strong, you know.
Yeah.
But awesome. Yeah.
Well, Kathy, one question I have for you is, when you were going to start your business, did you doubt yourself, or what happened to make you want to do
So
it?
I was working for a different company at the time, and being the only woman, I got fired from the job because I was too good.
Okay.
Because none of his clientele wanted any of his other workers to come into the house other than me.
Ah.
So he
And that
couldn't run
happens.
his business
Yeah.
with me working for him because I took over and they didn't want anybody else. So I'm like, you can't fire me because I was already starting to do stuff on my own anyway.
Right.
And luckily I was living at my aunt and uncle's house. So I didn't really have like overhead, you know, they
Right,
helped me financially a lot to help me in the background so I could just focus on building up my clientele, getting, you know, all my stuff together. And it was an easy transition for me because I had people already and then they told somebody. It's always been word of mouth for me. So I've never had to advertise or anything, and
Right.
they tell someone else, like it's your contractors, they keep you busy. But I've always just enjoyed it. I mean, I never really had the time to worry about like what's going to happen next week if I don't have anybody. I haven't had that worry, thank God,
Wow.
to worry about
Even
that.
during the pandemic?
Even
how was-
what we did was I worked outside on decks.
Oh,
So I sanded decks, so I was
Oh,
outside
okay.
by myself, you know,
Right,
and
right.
I would do stuff
Yeah.
like that. So like they're inside or empty houses.
Right,
So I
right.
could be by myself. 'Cause
Right.
it was that time there's the real estate, and with real estate, they weren't even able to go to the houses with the realtor to see the house.
Right,
Even
there's a lot of
sometimes, even
virtual.
after they bought it, they didn't even see
Yeah.
the house.
Right.
So I'd be the only one in there. So I was like, okay, you know, go do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
And here's, you know, they leave the key, they leave sanitizer, everything, then you leave the house, and it's all for them, and it goes on like that. So I stay pretty busy even through that.
I have a question for you
See how
about
everyone does with
about
business?
your future, because I know people who are like in the plumbing trade and all these construction fields, and as you get older, it takes
Here
a
comes the
toll
age.
physically on you. Do you have like a plan for what you're going to do?
Retirement.
Well, you know, like how about like you be the boss and not
I
do
don't
the
even know if
work?
I'm
and-
Here.
I don't even know if I'm
That's my
interested in
wife.
that part, because once I'm done, I think, for me.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. I don't want to keep on at it or even have anything to do with it, so I'm saving so that
Oh,
I can
okay.
just retire and
Do
then.
you think
I'll-
you would have a problem like staying hands off and just letting somebody else do it?
Oh, they could.
Oh, your sister's shaking her head like
Nobody really wants to do that.
Yeah.
Even if I go on vacation, nobody wants to do
Yeah.
that.
Okay, gotcha.
I have
Yeah.
a question for you too also, Judy, because, you know, you're a lawyer, and, you know, traditionally, that was a man's world
Yeah,
too.
that's
When you
Yes.
were going to law school and when you first started out, did you find that to be a problem, or?
Not as so much. The law school I went to was it was New England School of Law. Now it's known as New England Law. It started out as Portia Law, which was the first female law school in
wow,
the
that's
country.
awesome.
Portia, Portia. And when I went there, it wasn't. It was New England School of Law, so it was male and
Yeah.
female. But so it was always very progressive. It's in Boston, which I
love Boston. It's my favorite city.
It's wonderful. But where I did find some of it was in the courtrooms, because I'm very lucky, although I had a lot of male bosses and some female bosses. Well, very lucky with my bosses, but some of them would pull you aside, say, you're going to Judge so-and-so's courtroom. Make sure you wear a skirt.
Wow.
He doesn't like women who come into his courtroom with pants.
Oh, God.
Wow.
And I don't like skirt suits. They're not comfortable for me. I like pants. I'll wear high heels with my pants, but I just prefer a pantsuit. So they would tell me that, and so I would show up in the courtroom with pants. And, and I would make sure I was doubly prepped, and I would find in some judges' courtrooms when I would do that, I'd be getting more grilled. And I had this one time where I was in a judge's courtroom, and I was 8 months pregnant with twins. And when you go there for a motion session, and you're just on a general docket, so everybody who has a motion before the judge, you have to report, say, at 2 o'clock. But you can be called wherever. Now I was uncomfortable, whatever, and I showed up in pants. This was a judge that didn't like women with pants, and he called me last. And I got called at 4:50 in the afternoon.
Wow, what a
And you
dick.
weren't allowed to leave. And I was like, but you just do it, you did it, and I won.
Yeah.
Well, you
But
have principles.
it is
Yeah.
what it is.
It's groundbreaking
Yeah.
for the girls
Yeah.
and women that
But
come
that's
after you.
that's
Yeah.
where
I
I
have
saw.
to do a shout out for my granddaughter Riley, because she just had her winter concert, and the music teacher for the band, the conductor, said, all right, all the boys have to, wear black and white, and all the girls have to wear a dress or a skirt. Riley does not wear dresses. She doesn't own a dress. She is not that kid. And she went to him and said, I am not wearing a dress or a skirt, and I don't think that you should make any of the girls do that. And they've reversed that opinion.
Well done.
She's gonna go far.
Oh,
Yes,
Riley's
You have
she
to be
will.
your own advocate a lot of
You have
times.
to be.
Yep, yep.
Well, you were always very strong as a kid too, very confident and knew who you wanted.
Well, as
to
I
be.
was a little kid, I would be like, "Come on, who wants to make money?" Like, well, I'll go rake leaves or something. We'll
Yeah.
get $5, and then we'll build a
Yeah.
clubhouse or whatever. So I was like a little tyrant on the block. So.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. No, but that's pretty awesome. Kathy, I'm so glad that you were willing
Thank
to.
you for having me.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Now, to anybody, where do you do hard floors? Just Long Island? Or?
Long Island, yes.
Yeah.
And it's not. I'm sorry. It's not just sanding. You also install floors.
We
too.
install hardwood,
Yeah.
vinyls, laminates.
Right. Did you want to give a phone number or anything?
It's 631-897-7720.
And I can vouch for her because every home that I had, like she did the floors when I moved back to Belmore as well, and
how about our store, Turn of the Corkscrew? She
I
refinished
know, they were beautiful.
all the hardwood floors in there.
I forgot about that.
And everybody who used to come into our store used to compliment,
Oh,
oh my
thank you.
God, who did your
Well,
floors?
thank you very
So,
much.
and she's a lot of fun too, so
Yes,
you'll
yes,
love having her and
yes,
Lisa and Nikki
yes.
in your house.
We're
so.
not
Yeah.
leaving after this
No,
podcast.
we're not. And I would use you. I just have too many dogs and kids. And when they're done, you're coming in. My floors look like crap.
That's what I do.
Well,
Oh, I have a floor question. I think we have a couple of minutes. So what's the difference between a parquet floor and like wood flooring? Is it
Parquet is
same?
a style, you know.
So it looks
Yeah.
almost like tiles,
Yeah, it
right?
has
My
like a
bedroom
style.
is a
Sometimes
parquet.
it's
Oh, okay.
glued down, there's bigger parquets that are regular hardwood.
But you manage them the same way, like
Yeah, you
if they're
sand
being
them the same
refinished,
way, yeah,
okay.
there's different ways to install, different floors
Okay.
and
Well,
different kinds of parquets.
I have a question too. What's the trend now for floors?
Oh, I'm seeing a lot, well, I went through a lot of dark floors. Then, you always have like color trends. Then you went through a lot of lighter floors. Like when I was working for your ex-husband, we did a lot of whites and colors and stuff like that. So that's how I learned how to do all my colored floors. Just from Rob taught me almost everything that I know. So we learned how to do all that. You don't hardly see anybody doing that anymore. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's probably a talent that only very few people know how to do well. Like I've seen some
Hey,
white
Coach.
floors that I come across and they're done like crap. So I'm just like, they were like very good at what they do. So they taught me very well. So luckily I had them teaching me what to do. So then you went through darker floors, then you have medium colored floors, then we did a lot of gray floors.
Yes.
And
We did
right
a lot of
now, it's a lot of golden pecan again, which is
Oh, interesting.
coming back around again. So we're doing a lot of those.
We
And
did
just
a lot of vinyl too.
a lot of
Yeah.
vinyl. And just yesterday I did ebony, which I hadn't done in the longest time. And the colors look all different. It has a little bit of gray in it now, the ebony.
Ooh, I like
So it comes
that.
out with a little bit of gray in it. So I was like, oh, it look. I was shocked by it because I hadn't done the ebony in forever. And I was like, oh, it looks much different than what I'm used to. And I haven't done it forever. But it
Oops, I
changed
think I
things.
made a mistake.
I'm like, is that ebony? Like,
Sure it is.
it came out nicer than I thought. I was trying to talk him out of it. I'm like, yeah, it kind of looks nice.
I heard it for 900 square feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, listen, we're almost out of time,
Oh.
so, I don't wanna, I know we have a little bit of time, but I just wanna thank Kathy, but I
Thank you,
also.
Kathy.
Thank you for having me.
Also, our next podcast subject, could you briefly wanna say what?
Yes, we're going to talk about our medicine bags, and it's not what
Okay.
you think. So that's my topic, and I'm so excited to share it with everybody. Is
It's
it
not
gonna air
about
Christmas or
Tylenol,
no?
right?
It's gonna air the week after Christmas.
Okay, so now we have to say Happy Christmas,
Happy
everybody.
Everybody's
Papa, yes.
There we go, now I'll feed my dogs and, we'll get reorganized and,
Angel's like on a steroid, so she
What's the matter,
ready to
Peggy?
eat your fist at any time, so I had to hurry up and feed her.
Oh,